Morning goobers, I'm Eric Urias and today we're gonna be talking about the Euros. So if you don't care about me yapping about whatever and stuff, you can just go through the deck profile and everything. Thanks, motorcycles outside my house. It really, yeah, I really missed Milan for some things, but for some others I absolutely did not miss it. Especially the heat, I am burning. So yeah, this video is gonna be the intro and then the deck profile, some fancy text, and then I'll think about how to structure combos and my tournament report later. And the important thing here really is just that. Oh yeah, I did a take before this. I did 1 hour, 2 videos, and both of them had the wrong mic attached to my recording software. It sounded horrible. This little camera over here that makes me less blurry is also the reason. Okay, that's cool. Is also the reason why I had to scrap the entire thing and then redo it. I mean, to be fair, in that attempt, I realized that several of my techs and combos I was testing out for Euros just actually didn't even work. And yeah, that should just say everything about how prepared I was for Euros. I was not. Like, I legitimately realized that Genesys Euros was a free entry only 2 weeks before it actually happened, and I had school stuff to do, and so I decided to do school stuff. Even though in retrospect, low key I could have definitely just focused on Euros and trying to make a name for myself. And because I definitely would have been able to pass my final high school oral exam very easily. So I don't know. Yeah, I got a decent score, but also I don't know, man. I really should have focused on making my deck work. Speaking of my deck, actually, before speaking of my deck, I just want to mention my experience at Euros because I mean, the deck profile is happening anyways, so I might as well talk about something else before that. So at Euros, my eye hurt really badly. Sorry. I met 5 friends from Discord, and it was just as awesome as the last time, with at the Bologna Open meeting another one of my friends. It's just unbelievable. Meeting someone you think is fun from the internet, actually IRL. Because it's completely, the experience is completely different. Same personality, just hanging out just feels completely different IRL and online. I met 2 friends from Germany and 2 friends from the UK, and another one from Germany, but that one was not staying with us. Me and the 2 German friends there stayed at the same hotel alongside my cousin, which was the one that had the Euros invite, so he went there to do the advanced main event. The 2 British friends were at another one, but we still hanged out during rounds. Was the 2 Germans, we hanged out during rounds and also just outside the hotel, just eating stuff, hanging around in Bruxelles, which is such an incredible time. Even though there isn't much to do in Bruxelles, I'm gonna be so for real. Like the one thing my 2 friends told me was, "Hey, you gotta see the little baby that's pissing. That's a monument." I saw at the airport once me and my cousin were going back to Milan. I saw at the airport so many fridge magnets that were just the little piss boy. I'm like, is that all that there is at Bruxelles? Or, huh? I got a magnet of fries. It's a tradition in our household to just grab magnets to hang on the fridge. Um, when we come back from trips. And like, yeah, of course I'm not gonna get a little piss boy, the little piss boy magnet. I got the magnet of French fries, which was also cool. I mean, my main hobby is of course Yu-Gi-Oh, but like my second, my camera just died somehow. I don't know. My second favorite hobby is just cooking. So it felt like it made sense to grab something culinary. Speaking of that, I am actually thinking about just making some cooking videos just for funsies, like once a month or something. And well, of course, the channel idea is still gonna be Earthbound, but more cooking stuff, might as well. I was thinking about making a secondary channel for that, but secondary channels are a pain in the ass to manage. I don't wanna do that, you know. Um, so yeah, I hanged out a ton, and the one really important thing I wanna say is, after Euros, me and my cousin had 2 more days to just sit there and hang out, because his dad told him, "Oh yeah, you two might as well just see what Bruxelles has to offer," which was not much. So yeah, the first day of just the nothing turbo, we actually just sat at the hotel for the entire day. We just got delivery. We got the pizza and some McDonald's, and we just played Dueling Book the entire time while he was playing it because he had his laptop and he just wanted to play more Yu-Gi-Oh. I hanged out with him, and the one thing, the actual important thing that I want to talk about is how. Well, first of all, he made me realize that the Dueling Book training is very important for events. Like you just get to learn so many little things from there. And speaking of learning a bunch of little things, because my cousin has only ever played really at his locals and at the higher level events, so he knows the meta, he knows his locals meta. That's completely fine, but he doesn't know a bunch of stupid decks, just the most random garbage known to man. Like, so I actually coached them, and even with like the meta decks, with the popular decks and whatever, the minute details and such, I taught to him, and honestly, that was a moment that has made me realize why I love teaching Earthbound. I love teaching little tiny things about Yu-Gi-Oh to people. It's just so incredibly nice to have someone take your advice and then do well with it. He won a bunch on the book, mid ladder, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that was a really nice experience. We just did nothing, but also we did a lot of things, just hanging out, and well, it was such a good recovery after the 3 days of gauntlet of Euros. It was a really nice thing. And then day two of the thingy, we went around places, and then we went back to Milan in the evening. Yeah. Oh yeah, the actual event. We gotta talk about it. So I played Earthbound FTK, and the reason I decided to play FTK is very simple. Build a board strategies don't work too well, being completely frank, because like a blitzclick physically can't be touched by majority of your interactions. You have a Stardust Dragon, and that's it. You could play Ruddy Rose Dragon, but that's already super iffy. You could play, yeah, it's really just Stardust Dragon and maybe Draco Berserker as like disruptions into Blitzclick, and everything else is just hyper breakers. You do have Don Dragsters, you do have Elf Note Fortuna, but it's just not enough really. The build a board Earthbound strategy is just way too fair. Its main upsides are really just that it's got a lot of grind game. It's really fun to play because of all the little interactions that Earthbound in general has. But yeah, overall, I just didn't think that the build-a-board was the way to go. And I honestly think I was correct in the assessment. Um, and also, people aren't actually playing too many hand traps. They are still playing hand traps, which is a pain in the ass, but most of the time, the hand trap quality is really rough, so people are not playing a mass quantity of them, which is particularly important for the FTK. So I decided to play FTK, and also Nibiru, which is a high risk, high reward hand trap to just play in your deck in general. I have a decent out to Nibiru, so I thought that was pretty nice. It was pretty good. I think it's epic. And so yeah, I decided to play FTK. I played it. I played Earthbound with a Lure Queen and an archfiend package, but I'll explain the gist of things way later. I think I'm actually just gonna do a combo at the start to give you guys a general idea of what's going on before actually going into the deck profile, because you need context hat to understand why I'm playing some cards, why some certain interactions are there, certain texts are used to search whatever. You know, there's a lot of context that's needed for a list like this. Um, what was I about to say? Yeah, because of Talonite, people were playing decent amount of hand trap, but they weren't good enough. That's what I wanted to say. Majority people are still on full breakers. I didn't see too many hand traps. I saw 4 Nibiru or something, and I played around a couple of those. Um, but overall, at the event, I didn't do very well. Day 1, I was just super unprepared. I had 0 testing games. I didn't even test my own FTK. I just theory crafted. I know the lines, but at the same time, half the lines I put in my fancy document just didn't work. That's why I don't feel so bad about redoing my entire thing, is because like I'm very thankful I didn't play the Where Are Vow package, because I was supposed to play this package right here, which I'll talk about a little bit more later. This package right here with Formula Synchron, Jester Confit, also known as Fat Buffoon in Italian, and of course free Where Are Vow as basically a consistency booster, but and I thought that the Keeper plus Confi was gonna be a 1-card combo, because I spent half an hour on it, but I miscalculated exactly one singular card in the graveyard, and that was the combo done. It's just so painful. But like, yeah, I had 2 weeks to prepare for this. I decided to risk it because I genuinely thought FTK was gonna be good, and also like you know, my friend Sylvia, I have her Radiant Typhoon YCS Columbus deck profile on my channel, by the way. If you wanna check it out, you might as well. But like, the thing she told me is that playing FTK, just complete destroy your opponent instantly, is an actual studied method. She just told me that every single friend of hers that's played Genesys and has played an actual FTK just went really well at a bunch of other events. So I decided to trust her, and the FTK thing was correct, but my technical play wasn't good. Like, I was able to FTK a ton of time. At least once a round I would FTK. Like, that's how consistent I was able to FTK. Once a round, FTK. I was almost able to do it twice, 2 times in 1 round, but I miscalculated. I did a terrible misplay. I fumbled the line horribly because I had too many bodies on board. How does that happen? How do you have too many bodies on board? But like, yeah, having too many bodies on board just killed my chances of actually being able to FTK my opponent twice without even seeing what they were playing. Like, it was such a funny thing, and it just failed it, and I am upset about it. But also Sylvia told me that, you know, it's my first mega event. It's my first event above a nationals. Even then, nationals, this year I wasn't able to get my ticket for nationals because I was late. And 2 years ago, nationals, I was not as good as I am, and also I wasn't playing Earthbound, so therefore it doesn't count. So yeah, I think thinks this was a good learning experience. It's fine that I fumbled my first event because I didn't have enough practice, but even if I didn't have enough practice, I can still do more practice, and I can also get more techs, more practicing, more practice, more practice, and especially against Sylvia. She kicks my ass every time, but that's important. You need someone as good as... Okay, maybe you can't just randomly find pro players out of nowhere to test with, but if you have someone really decent, at least at locals, just bother them every single time. Sylvia particularly, she really likes it when someone asks her for advice, they follow the advice, and it's correct. She told me to play FTK. The FTK was correct. Yeah. So, I think that's about it for my fancy little yap before the deck profile. Let's begin. Alright, to start the deck profile, we must dissect the Ojama yellow. Because he ate all my Earthbound cards. That's terrible. On a more serious note, I got one of these guys at Euros. There was a vendor group that got all the Ojamas, Moki Moki, and some Scapegoat. I think there were bags and not deck boxes. Regardless, these were advertised at Euros, I'm pretty sure. This is not an ad, this is just, I really like my stupid ugly chud son, he's awesome. So anyways, let's dissect the Ojama and look at the deck profile. Starting with the Earthbound cards, which are here, and then we'll go through the engines as I wish. So, my chair. So, oh my god, I really hate my stupid deck profile setup. So let's start just by going through all the Earthbounds, starting with the classic package of Free Keeper, Free Sweeper, 1 Walker, 1 Prison, and 1 Harmonic. And now I just realized that I really should be lowering my curtains. There we go, hold on. Alright, this is much better. This way the cards are actually visible. There's very little to say about this package right here. This is just all your starters and then your half starter and your bricks at 1. Very simple. You could argue with cutting one of the sweepers because very notably sweepers at 5 points and you have some ways to search your Earthbound stuff with your secondary engines. I decided to play free still because majority of the deck is still very much 2-card combos. Not the whole deck is just 2-card combos until I figure out a 1-card FTK. Very simply because, well, I had a combo written, and as mentioned earlier, I just miscalculated the line and wrote it on my document, sure, but also it just physically doesn't work. So that's great. So yeah, that's why I'm playing Free Sweeper rather than less than free. Not much else to say about everything else. On to the RDA stuff. Here is 1 Vision, 1 Golem, 1 Gaia, 1 Crimson Call, 1 Booyo, and 1 Mutiny. This package is very standard. Typically you would play 2 Crimson Gaia as just a secondary search target off of the Crimson King or by looping Vision. But well, in the grind game it doesn't matter too much. And also, sure, a Finpiece Golem plus a Groundkeeper doesn't FTK, does FTK actually. Even Keeper or Sweeper, sorry, plus Golem does FTK, but you have other ways to search Crimson Gaia by using some of your secondary engines. Yeah, as mentioned earlier, this is just such a context deck. You need so much context to just understand anything. But yeah, I'm just playing one Crimson Gaia, and I thought it was perfectly fine at Euros. One thing I should mention though is that day 1 of Euros, I was playing a different list than this. It was really just slightly different. Literally just a Gaia, one guy in the side deck as maybe potential consistency. It performed okay, but I wouldn't play more than one, yeah. This is the more interesting part though. I typically wouldn't recommend Booyo, but I think I changed my mind on this again. Majority of the hand traps that are being played, like Crow Meister, Ogre, and stuff, I guess no material, don't actually interfere with Booyo, unlike stuff like Veiler, which would make you unable to summon Keeper, and even then, Keeper is negated, so like you need to make a level 4 Synchro, which does suck. And, well, yeah, I think Booyo is pretty decent as an extender because it not only helps you with your combo lines, but also helps you in the grind game. This is what I'm saying for outside of the FTK. You could play it as an extender, but really I would say that the Crimson Call searching Booyo is more than good enough. And the reason we're playing Crimson Call is mainly to search Booyo, but also it can search Groundkeeper if you do your combo lines off of starting with a secondary engine, and that will lead to the FTK very simply. From here I will now demonstrate the FTK using just Keeper plus Booyo. Okay, so let's move all this fancy stuff here and go Keeper. Keeper will grab myself a Walker. Walker will get me a Harmonic Synchro Fusion. And now with Booyo, I will eat Walker to summon it, Harmonic Synchro Fusion to get these off into a, yeah, I'll go for Rusiela, why not? Rusiela plus Gremlina. Rusiela's effect will let me search for a White Forest card. I forgot to mention, yeah, we're playing LZ. I'll explain it later, yeah, fine. LZ. Gremlina grabs me a... Actually, cut. Actually, never mind. After realizing that I still need to explain some additional stuff before moving on to the FTK, I will do this. So here is the one-card combo package. As we all should know by now, if you've been watching my videos, Rusiela is a very important card in Earthbound. This is because it's very much the best one-card combo enabler. By summoning Keeper into Sweeper, this is the only thing that gives you any amount of decent payoff without locking you, while still being able to be used in the middle of your combos, and just, well, enabling layer disruptions, enabling more combos, etc. You typically would play the Fortuna package over Azamina Zep because this is 0 points. This is literally a free Omni Negate on a trap card that also gets her back, and the Vengeance Dragon is just a good card. This doesn't enable any fancy combos, which what we're doing here is, well, fancy combos. We're FTKing. This is particularly important to go into either Axel Synchro Stardust Dragon or Diabolantis. Diabolantis will get you to return 0, but I'll explain that in a very short time. Synphos plus White Forest is particularly important for Duco Demise combos, in which you may need to go Kraken first and then Duco Demise, and Duco Demise gets you an additional normal summon, which is important for, let's talk about it, which is important for the FTK package, Greater Line Walker and the Chakuchalhua. These are half of your FTK, the other half will be, in a second, Dark Strike Fighter. So the way the FTK works is that you summon Greater Walker, you add a Chakuchalhua to your hand, summon Darkstrike Fighter, get a additional normal summon on board with 2 tributes up. In this example, let's just use Earthbound Prison. Duke of Demise also works because he's just a dude with a normal summon on top. So you will normal summon Chakuchalhua, use Greater Walker to cut your opponent's life points to 3000, use Chaku to burn for 1k 2 damage, and then 2k off of Darkstrike Fighter. Very simple FTK, very mediocrely effective actually. So yeah, this is the way you're gonna be FTKing. Are they bricky? A little bit. Chakuchalhua can be easy discard fodder, but Greater Line Walker, if you draw it, you have to keep it in your hand, which can hamper some of your combos, which does suck, but it is what it is. And lastly, a Dandelion. This is for your Rusiela package, and it lets you go from Rusiela into Azamina Z into a Diabellantis. A Diabellantis will send a Dandelion that summons 2 tokens. You use Diabellantis to make it itself into a tuner, and then you summon with the 2 tokens and Diabellantis into a return 0. This helps a little bit into Nibiru. It comes up more frequently than you'd think actually, and I find it pretty nice to just have in general as utility. Was Dandelion annoying to draw? Oh, absolutely. It's just, unless I figure something different to out Nibiru, this will be my Nibiru out of choice. You could argue on spending 20 points for Azamina Elia Sylvia. I guess that's true. That's also not bad. It's 20 points, but it's also 0 main deck investment. But, you know, for this FTK build, I already said this was 2 weeks of Fury crafting only. And also I did a ton of miscalculations and such with the build. So, my fancy document won't be released to the public yet because it's very much incomplete. Yay. But one day I'll figure some crazy stupid combos that will FTK your opponent turn 0 or something, I don't know. For now, though, Dandelion is essentially in the deck. And for another way to enable Dandelion and well, the rest of your Earthbound combos, here is the Allure Queen package. Free Dance, free Palace, 1 of each, Chaos, level 7, level 5, and level 1. Effect Veiler. So this is a very simple package. This lets you summon the Crimson King for free without a normal summon, which is particularly important for your searchers. But with level 5 in your engine instead of a second Chaos Allure Queen, this enables you to go for Rusiela combos, which gets you an Anti-Nibiru and Sinful's Puzzle White Forest as a fusion spell, which is particularly nice. Let's just demonstrate the mini combo to... At this point, I'm just showing you the FTK lines in the end. I explained the vague thing, so it's fine. The vague picture, so it's fine. The combos will be in reverse, so flip your phone or something. Flip your PC, yeah. So Palace effect will get me a Chaos, and then discard 1 to get level 7, discard level 7 to get 5. I do this to confuddle my opponent. So I will discard 5 for Chaos. Chaos will equip whichever one I don't want to summon. Let's just say I want to go for the Crimson King. So I will place level 5, summon level 7, sack these off with Palace's effect to summon Effect Veiler. I chose Effect Veiler because it's non-engine on top of being your Garnet for this. It's not even a Garnet, just a really annoying brick because you're discarding a ton for this combo. You could play some other stuff. Maybe I'll figure out a way to enable Cartesia from here, but for the time being, Effect Veiler is going to be the brick of choice. From here, you'll just go into the Crimson King. The Crimson King will add Crimson Gaia. And this will let you get a Groundkeeper or a Yugioh for your FTK, whichever one you need to do. Notably, you cannot do your Fiend Piece Golem plus Keeper combo here because Crimson King is necessary to get yugioh, so you just directly grab yugioh if you already drew Groundkeeper. From here, there isn't much else to do, just that. I was thinking that maybe Allure Dance, which is literally just Soul Charge for the Allure Queens. Maybe this enables a one-card combo, but for now, the only one-card combo I have is the one I fumbled. So I'll just wait it out, and you'll have to wait it out. Sorry, not me. I'll be doing the researching and stuff. So you'll see it eventually. Next is the archfiend package. This was so good. It was much better than I initially thought doing testing because, well, there's a bunch of bricks here, but they're not that bad. Like, let's just start with it. We have free usurpation, which sets from deck or grave and lets you activate a trap. Strategy, which is important for some specific Kraken combos, to let you get an additional tribute fodder with Ancient Fairy Dragon. And speaking of enabling Ancient Fairy Dragon, and a bunch of other things, here is 1 playtime and 1 bone. And lastly is a glitch. Glitch is good going second. It's also fine as a backup plan, but if you're relying on glitch as your backup plan, you're probably dead anyways. What is important here though is these 2 cards. These enable a bunch of combos. The main way you're going to be using Bone, of course, is going to be by milling a Vision Resonator. Vision will grab you a Crimson Gaia, and that gets you a level 7 Synchro, like Darkstrike Fighter or Ancient Fairy Dragon. Ancient Fairy Dragon is important to note here because whilst, sure, you could use a Kraken to add Prison instead of Strategy, sometimes you just don't have Tribute Fodder, so you will need to use this as your way to additional tribute on top of your field spell. Of course, enabling Darkstrike Fighter is also extremely nice, especially into hand traps. This is why your serve is so important. Not much else to say here, really. You could dump Groundkeeper for this, for some extremely specific combo lines. It has come up like exactly once to enable yugioh to let me go combo in a very weird hand. Glitch has like one thing to note, and it's just that it can be used to destroy your own monsters if your field is way too clogged, which is very funny. And also it dumps any fiend, unlike Bone, which can only dump tuners, which is important for yugioh combos, which has come up like exactly once, I'm pretty sure. That's about it for the Archfiends. Onto the non-engine. In my day 1 list, I originally played a bunch more. 3 Ogres and 3 Happy Memory more. It was like okay, but like the consistency drop on the FTK was very noticeable, especially when I played a day 3 and just opened the FTK so many more times. Regardless though, here is 3 Purulia because it's good into every single deck. Free Kaiju Slumber, it's free, it's stupid, it's dumb, and stupid, and dumb. Yeah, you gotta play it. And then our free Kaijus. 1 Radiant, 1 Kamungus, and 1 Thunder King. The reason I'm playing these 3 Kaijus is because this guy is the only dark, and it's very important for Harmonic. This guy is the lowest attack that isn't the Gamma Seal, which is at 3 points, and no way in hell am I paying 3 points for Gamma Seal. And lastly is Fancy Guy, Thunder King. He's the biggest kaiju and level 9. I chose it over Jizukiru because Jizukiru is level 10 and that's not very good for synchro plays. Whilst level 9 is not great, but it's much better than level 10. It gives me variety over some, I don't know. If I were playing a Darla, that would reduce some of my versatility. I think Thunder King was better, but it just didn't matter for, you know, the actual games. It was just a kaiju, that's about it. Onto the extra deck, let's start with the boundness, banananess. Starting with Griffin, my favorite card. It's good in the grind game, but lol them out. Here, he's just enabling FTKs. You're typically just summoning Keeper here to enable Gremlina to turn into a Dark Strike Fighter. Speaking of Gremlina, in this variant, it is very important to note that the only card you're gonna be adding off of Gremlina is gonna be Greater Linewalker. You sometimes will say that you wish you had a Earthbound Immortal Red Nova line, but I just don't think that's worth it unless you're playing Chimera stuff. Earthbound Immortal Red Nova can enable summon FTKs by summoning Greater Walker for free after a Red Dragon Archfiend, but the issue really is that, well, if you want to enable Red Nova, you just need to commit to so many more resources to make that happen, and I just don't think it's very good. Also, it would mean that the Keeper and the Sweeper lines would have some disparity, which just sucks for your consistency. What do you mean that some parts of your, some cards, some starters FTK and some others don't just because of a minute detail? I decided to go for like the more yugioh, more RDA's Fiend-Piece Golem centric FTK instead of going for Red Nova, which I just don't think is very good. Anyways, here's Kraken. Kraken gets you Prison for the second normal summon to summon Chaco-Chalhua, and they can also get you Archfiend strats, as mentioned earlier. You can also just get a Lure Palace, why not? It's nice for build a board, even though I don't think here build a board is worth it. Because, well, if you don't FTK, you usually just lose because you have a very goofy half combo. Speaking of goofy half combos, here's Gremlin. Gremlin is just worse Raciela the more I played. I thought it could be decent to enable some lines into clog the field. Like, you just have too many guys, so Joe Gremlin can help by reducing the number of guys on board, and that's something that Raciela can't do, but meh, it's just not worth it, honestly. You should just play Levilasable for your half boards, maybe. Or maybe, yeah, I guess Meshareil for Meshakrer for your Shadow stuff. Yeah. Here's Duke of the Mind. He has come up very often for my FTK lines because he's just a free normal summon, whilst you have a field spell. Kraken is typically better, but this guy can use any fiend, which is very important a lot of the time. Sometimes you just won't have the Earthbound names in the graveyard because, I don't know, you banish them off of Archfiend strategy. Maybe you shuffle them back for a really janky Gremlina play. Maybe Sinful Splice White Forest is used and you can only use fiends on board, so Duke of Demise is important. There's a lot of places in which Duke is important, and that's why I'm playing him. Okay. Then we have Crimson King and RDA. He's 10 points. He's very good. He searches a lot of fancy cool stuff. That's it. RDA though, it's come up a couple of times and none of those times it helped me survive. I was thinking this was like a fine backup plan, maybe going first, maybe going second. I am yet to use him going second is the problem, so like I don't know how good he is. I think I'll just keep RDA in the sideboard even though I'm not not sideboard, the extra deck, even though I'm not using Immortal Red Nova. Just as a fail-safe, you know. My English has become super awful ever since Bruxelles. The issue is just that I am really good at English. Hell, you know, Mario, I mentioned him in one of my videos. He's a fan of mine. I met him at Bologna for Nationals. And he literally thought I was from America from how American my English sounded, from how actually native it sounded, I don't know. But regardless of that, my English is good. The issue is I'm just not used to speaking English for more than freaking 5 hours at most. And yeah, it's really starting to get to me. It's really difficult, you know. Anyways, here is Raciela, Diabellantis, and Return Zero. I mentioned all of these earlier. Reciela, always super important. Never skimp out on Reciela. Every single Earthbound build should have Reciela. At least to search Symphos plus White first, even if you're not playing Azamina LZ. Even if you're not playing Elf Notes. If you're not playing Azamina. If you're not playing diabellstar. Every single Earthbound variant should be playing Reciela. At least for Symphos plus White Forest or Scourge of the White Forest. It is just that important. She's so good for every single one of your decks. She's useful for your one card combos. She's useful in the middle of your fancy pants combos to go through a some additional ceiling. You can get a free fusion spell. You can get an Omni Negate off of the Elf Note stuff. You can just do so much with Reciela. So you don't need to explain her. Same thing with Diabellantis I just explained earlier, and same with Return Zero. The one notable thing is, yeah, I mentioned earlier how Allure Queen can summon this by summoning level 5 plus Valor, but you can also just search Chaos. This is a very funny play. It's not very good, but it is very funny. You can just search Chaos Allure Queen. This has come up a decent amount of times when I was playing a Piscu build, back when Asla Piscu was playable in Earthbound, because in Genesys they didn't freaking point it. So yeah, it's pretty good. And lastly, we have some utility. Ancient Fairy Dragon, as mentioned earlier, this just helps a Kraken get one more body on field before going into a prison. It has come up so many times, it's just so clutch. Then is Axel Stardust. This is typically less important than Diabellantis, but if you have clog zones, this is very important. Sometimes you even want Keeper on board so that you can use it for Darkseer Fighter, and you don't want to go into Diabellantis. So here is Axel Stardust, very nice. These two, Krakow Dragon and Juraishin, they have come up decent amount of times, but it's really just as backup and board pieces. You have Return Zero, you have these two, but not really much else. You have maybe Kraken, maybe Archfiend Ghastly Glitch, but that's about it. These two have been really nice though, so that's not nothing. I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is the quarter century my cousin gave me. I don't know if you can see the shininess, but it is very cool. It is so freaking shiny. And lastly, Darkseer Fighter. He the man, he the guy, he epic. He kills you with a gun is the problem. And that's about it for the extra deck. I'm going to get some water. Alright, onto the side deck we have 3 Happy Memory, 3 Ghost Ogres, 3 Lancia, 3 Twin Twister, and 3 Crow. Which ones mattered? We have 3 Crows, the Ghost Ogres, and that's it. These were the only 2 that mattered, and I don't know how to feel about it. I'm pretty sure these 2 were just none of my opponents actually played either a Lancia Ball deck or a back row deck, so they didn't matter. And Happy Memory is an interesting case. I think it's really just I didn't draw it situation, or rather, I didn't draw this and my opponent didn't draw stuff like Ogre, Vidos, Blitzlick, Crackle, and stuff like that. This is mainly to protect myself from those cards, so yeah. And it just didn't come up. If I find a way to make level 1 Dark Monster plus Groundkeeper work, this card may get me some more mileage. Regardless of that, I think it's still a good enough card to play, whether it's in the main deck, or in the sideboard. Oh yeah, they're also in German, cause like, I realized that the day we landed in Bruxelles, cause like we woke up super early, we didn't have much time to 100% confirm all the texts. I watched an MBT video and he showed this card, and I was super losing it, cause like I really wanted either this or my body as a shield, and I didn't have either. I had Pianissimo, but Pianissimo is just such a bad card. I just didn't want to play it. And I did have purely cards at home, but the problem is I just didn't bring them because I didn't know about the deck until I was at Bruxelles. But luckily, one of my friends had these in in her bag. Her and her boyfriend just got basically all of their decks. I'm pretty sure they just grabbed a bunch of decks if I wanted to play, and well, yeah, she had the purely on her, and I asked her to borrow them, and yeah, that's it. Hence why these are in German. I also have my own copies, so I literally stole freaking happy memory. That's great. It's very ironic, I guess, given I had a lot of happy memories at Bruxelles because of my friend those. Yay. That's about it for the cards in the deck. Let's talk about some fancy decks. I'll put my extra deck here. Okay. Starting with the most important one on the bunch, here is Super Duper Poly. I don't know if this is actually the most important one, actually. Regardless, though, here is Super Duper Poly. This card is incredible to enable FTKs. I'll show you a combo in a little bit. But yeah, this gets you a Synchro in the graveyard, which is important for Greater Walker for those lines. And it's also a really nice extender if you have any Dark Fiend on board. I still don't get what the hype is with Super Duper Poly. Like, I don't know why people are treating this as if it were an actual board breaker, because I don't know. It doesn't sound like it does anything unless you play like 5 extra deck slots for all the decks in the meta. And even then, what if you're playing Rogue? That's playing against Rogue. That's not too great. So yeah, this is an awesome extender. I played it in the sideboard for my day 3 list. The problem is I forgot to take DD Crow out for this card. So I just had DD Crow, which performed okay, but like I really wanted the consistency off of Super Duper, so like, yeah, that kind of sucked. Next up for fancy decks, I have, oh no, I fell on the floor. I have 3 Sorcerer the Swamp, which I literally just picked up at Euros. I just got a decent amount of packs off of my entries, and I got all of these. And then we have Kaitoptera and Honsaurus. These, oh yeah, and Polymerization. These are really nice to get you either the Allure Queen package or the Archfiend package. The Archfiend package can't really use this too well because they're a Spellcaster and Dinosaur, these two. And also this one is a Garnet, which is kind of awkward, but I feel like this package is super strong for additional consistency. If I find a way to get more one-card combos in, this is definitely gonna be super important for the deck. I'm pretty sure you can actually just one-card combo off of this. Even if you don't have a Lure Dance, you have Sorcerer to get to banish Kaitoptera, summon it for its effect to add Poly, then make Hornsaurus. This gets you a Dark level 6 body, which is really good here. And of course, Allure Palace, which gets you the full Allure Queen line. One day I'll figure something out, but until then, I think this is good, but the Garnet is iffy. So Polymerization is perfectly fine as a card though. And also one more thing about this has to be Super Poly, it cannot be Fusion Substitute. The Substitute draw is nice, but we're playing an FTK, you don't care about drawing too much unless you're extending, and this is way too deep into extension to actually be worth it usually. So yeah, Super Polymerization, the normal Polymerization works way better as extension, so I'm playing this. Also, these guys are not even sleeved, that's great. Next up, we have Dark Revo, because I wanted to talk about it alongside Polymerization. I had an early iteration of the deck which was more focused on the Fiend aspect. I didn't have Allure Queens, but for the sake of consistency, I just really think that Allure Queen is mandatory, so I didn't play Dark Revo. I swear that this card is so close to being playable, it's just unbelievable, but it's not yet. You don't play enough Fiends. Maybe I'll try eventually a Fiend pile. I've got some ideas with, you know, the Chaos Ritual stuff. Chaos Archfiend of Chaos. Skull Archfiend of Chaos is a really powerful card even without majority of the other roll ad cards. So like maybe I'm thinking just pure fiend pile, a bunch of fusion spells, a bunch of fiends, and this is included as half of a Call by the Grave, and as extension with polymerization. I'll figure out in due time, but that pile sounds so fun. It's just such a shame that there is no Genesys locals for me to have fun with something silly like that. Anyways, here is what I was mentioning earlier with were Arva, Fat Buffoon, and the Formula Synchron. This was so close to an FTK with Keeper plus Buffoon. The idea is you summon this guy, you wear Alpha, or like you summon a, I don't know, a Veiler. Summon a Veiler, which is really common. This would mean that this is literally just additional copies of Keeper. This way you have this plus level 7, you add a Keeper off of this, make the Crimson King for Yugioh, and that's FTK. You just... And the idea behind Fat Buffoon is that you can just summon it, Keeper, Walker, Harmonic, Harmonic to summon Formula plus Gremlina, then go for an Crimson King line, but I just didn't have enough names in the graveyard to shuffle off a Mutiny with this very clunky line, so I'll need to figure out something else to either make this playable or to try and have, I don't know, to try and play something like Kaitoptera, something like Super Duper Poly. I'll figure it out, I don't know, but like this was super promising, just a shame. I really like this package, and also I spent €5 on this stupid idiot. He was €5 at this overpriced store, overpriced OTS that we have, local game shop that we have closest to me, and well, I bought him for €5 and didn't even use him. Next is just additional copies of Booyah and Crimson Gaia. These perform fine, like they help a little bit with extension through hand traps to still enable an FTK after all the fancy stuff, but I don't know, I think playing more extension so that I'm able to still play more extension that's just generally useful, like the Allure Queens with Fancy Goobers would be better. Super Duper basically does the same thing as Booyah, but like a little bit better. So, but Booyah is unique because it gets you Mutiny, and Mutiny is such a strong way to extend this. Like, it just doesn't do anything on its own though. So like, I mean, neither does Super Duper, but like, my brain hurts. I've only Fury crafted for 2 weeks. It just, I don't have anything useful to say now. It sucks. I know all the Earthbound decks, I just don't know how good they are in this context. So yeah, I don't know if Booyah or additional Crimson Gaias are that good. But like, what I know is good is a Shadow Fusion. One of these is Ultra because I bought one at the last minute. One of them didn't arrive, so I used the reliable seller on Card Market and got an Ultra. They had Platinum. I should have just gotten that. Like, bruh. Regardless of that, we have one Drago and one Genesys with, of course, one Mesharail. I think this should have been in my side deck. It is a little inconsistent, the fact that, well, these are 2 bricks, and that they don't trigger off of most of my cards because I'm not playing Earthbound Fusion, I'm not playing all that fancy stuff. So, yeah, I'm not sure if this was correct, but like the Shadow cards are so strong. And also like Blitzclick, this physically doesn't do anything to Blitzclick unless they're playing like a very heavy 7th Tachyon package with, I don't know, Big Jaws or some other rank 4 engine, regardless. This could have been my deck. I think this is much better if you're playing a build-a-board Earthbound because you just have more opportunities to play like Earthbound Immortal Red Nova, which this engine synergizes with, and well, you don't even need Immortal Red Nova for full combo because you send a Earthbound off of this and then use Void Apocalypse, which I forgot in my deck in my utility box, but well. And you can just send Booyah, go full combo from there. This is... I think this is really good in Genesys. Not sure if in the FTK variant it's that good because I'm playing 50 cards. Sorry, 46 in this case. I played 53 at Euro's main event. Yeah, I just don't think it's worth it. Then we have free Edtels and the free Godos. These are not the ratios, these are very flexible. I am pretty sure that the level 7 plus a keeper or sweeper actually FTKs. If it doesn't, I'm going to actually cry, because like, oh my god, how many times have I said that? But yeah, like the idea for this is that the Godos is a hand trap, so you might as well just play it, plus the guys that enable your FTK on top of just being fancy bodies. It's pretty nice. I don't know. I probably should have played this if I had more space. But I don't have more space, so yeah. That's about it for the fancy attacks. Yeah. So I don't know. My camera. There I have. Yeah, the camera is in the closet because like I needed the. I can't show you the setup. There's people's faces. There's my freaking credit card info. I think this is good enough. Nah, it was in the closet because like this is my desk. This is my desk below, and this is my closet. I just don't have anything to place the camera on. I'm looking at my camera because like that's where my PC is. I put my PC away because I just physically don't have space to put it here whilst having my board. Regardless, man, it's just so painful, that the fact that I just didn't prep well enough. And it is frustrating. But at the same time, I just I learned a lot of things. I learned that well, first of all, you shouldn't only prep 1 week earlier, and you definitely shouldn't prep without even thinking about playtesting, because playtesting is super important. Even if you're doing an FTK, you're just doing solitaire, knowing how to play around hand traps, and knowing especially that your combo lines 100% work, because I didn't know that that my combo lines didn't work, so like it just turned into a mega mess. And like, dude, just so painful from there to stuff. But like, yeah. I learned a lot. Sylvia, as mentioned earlier, she has told me that it's fine to fumble my first event, first mega big event. I knew the winning strategy. The FTK is more than good enough in this sort of format. It's not gonna be pointed. People maybe will play more hand traps, but at that point I might as well just build a board anyways. I'll just think about which strategy I think is much better when YCS Bologna comes. But yeah, the principles are there. I just need much more practice. And speaking of YCS Bologna, which is happening in December, if you didn't know, date 4 and 6th of December. Yeah, of course I'll go there. That's obvious, but I'm pretty sure I'll just play advanced. I have a lot of fancy things prepared with Chaos Ritual Earthbound, Ladder Earthbound, or Roulade Earthbound. I really like calling it Roulade. The problem is ladder is the actual acronym for the archetype, which does smell. I'll still call it Roulade in my videos, it's fine, I think. But yeah, but like, the thing is, that engine is so nice in Earthbound, it's just incredible. Once Magnificent Monsters comes out, Earthbound is able to get bridges from both Azamina and Chaos Ritual into itself. And I've prepared a 60 pile for it, and it's been performing pretty freaking well. I've been playing against the tunes with Sylvia. She's been kicking my ass. I actually got a win off of her, that's pretty nice. And yeah, the grind game off of that deck is just absurd, on top of like ceiling, the consistency, going second. It's just such an incredible boost to the deck. I didn't think Earthbound could actually be boosted by anything other than azamina. I might think about playing 40 card because I really don't like 60 card anymore. You know, my early-ish YouTube days, I used to play a bunch of combo piles with Orcus, with D-Link, with Punk, Witchcraft, or whatever. Just a bunch of silly little things. But like right now, all I want is consistent access to my sideboard cards for going second, mainly. Going first, I just play a bunch of searchables, honestly. I don't need anything more than that. Droll is a fine side in going first also, and I kind of want to draw it, but oh well. I'll figure stuff out in due time, it's fine. I don't want to play 40 mainly because I'm playing a stupid amount of bricks to enable all my crazy stuff. It's kind of high roll now that I think about it, but oh well, it is what it is. I won't talk about it too much anymore. I'll make a video on it again eventually. I did the Earthbound lab episode, sure, but I need to find more fancy decks, more silly stuff I have to do. There's just so many things to think about with ladder Earthbound. Yeah, and I'll update you because I think it is the winning strategy for what's it called? YCS Bologna. Yeah. Unless like the Glorious Victors decks or meta defining, which the first one sucks, so that's great, and the other two are probably gonna be decent at least. I'll see in due time because Beyond the Brave has what Umbral Horror and the synchro that I wanna play. Yeah. I'll figure stuff out in due time. I have 5 months to play test with Chaos Ritual Earthbound until I feel like it's good enough for a high profile event. Hopefully I get a feature match unlike at the Euros. My first goal is of course to top a bunch of Earthbound. My second goal is definitely to actually get on feature match. I feel like it would be extremely fun. I love attention. I don't know. I am a stupid attention seeking idiot. That's what I am. And the further goal is definitely gonna be the Earthbound Grandmaster title on Neuron, because like, oh my god, that would be so beautiful. I'm probably gonna be, if not one of, the only person with Grand Earthbound Master as a title for Neuron. You can only get it if you win 50 times with a certain deck at a high profile event, which means that yeah, we need to play a bunch of big events. Big means OTS Championship or above, which is completely doable for me, I think. Yeah, I rambled again. I mean, this is the fun part of my videos, isn't it? Like, come on, man. You're watching a video that's 1 hour long and you don't think I'm gonna be rambling on top of the useful information? Boo! but like, yeah, I think that's gonna be the end of the video, you goobies. I'll see you next time. See ya. Peace.